Hey guys, welcome to day 13 of my carnivore diet. I'm going to talk about what I ate, how I felt, and of course, the subject of preparation. We're definitely going to talk about that and how helpful that is. You know, what a key component of the carnivore diet is by being prepped. With that being said, and I also have some more news a little later that I wanted to pass on for the world of like keto and carnivore and things. Some exciting things that just came out. Okay, so real quick, um, everything was decent overnight. Nothing really to report. I don't think I really had anything like any snacks or anything late night or anything. Ice water, and of course, didn't have any potty until just a little bit ago, and then it was like kind of semi. So maybe that tea is a thing. Maybe having the tea might go right through you. So that's just something to think about. I may try tea again here soon and see if it happens, and then we'll know for sure. Okay. For dinner. Okay. Now, my family decided that they wanted to have pizza because guess what? It's Saturday night, so they wanted pizza. My wife is streaming some video games, and she wanted pizza because it was easy and, like I said, it was kind of a special night. And of course, my son, he's going to be on board. He's a teenager, and he's like, "Yeah." But me, I'm just like, "Oh man, like pizza is." Man, that's like one of my favorites. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorites. I love pizza. And I used to love making it. I used to be able to make the homemade crust from scratch. You know, the type that you start the day before. You know what I mean? And you got these proofing stages and like, yeah, that's how much into pizza I was. And making a homemade pizza sauce, like a Roman style, very clean, very delicious. I mean, yeah, I made some good homemade pizzas. So yeah, I love pizza. So I knew this was going to be a challenge. So for dinner, I hurried up and I was like, "Oh God." And I knew that I had a little bit of time. Like they didn't just be like, "Oh my God, it's, 7 p.m. and we need dinner." You know, they had said this about like 4:30 or 5. So I had a little bit of time. So I went to so what I did was I kind of scrambled and I grabbed 3 eggs and an 8-ounce block of white cheddar. I shredded the cheddar and mixed in the egg, mixed it all up into this, gloppy shredded cheese egg mixture. Took a pizza pan, wax paper. I know this is kind of sounding similar to the carnivore pizza. So, but yeah, I threw that on there, spread it out as much as I could with a spoon, and got it fairly thin, pretty good size, and put it in a preheated oven. The oven was preheated to 350. Put it in there for almost 15 minutes, and then I actually moved it up a notch in the oven. I had it in the center, moved it up a little notch, and then I put it on broil for a few minutes, but I kept an eye on it real close. And once that top layer got browned a little bit, started getting some browning, I took it out. I never did that before. Before I just did it for like 15 minutes on 350, and then you flip it over, and then you use the other side. Well, this time I slid it off the pizza pan with that parchment paper. Like I said, after browning it a little bit with the broiler, then I flipped it over onto the pizza pan. This time I didn't use parchment paper. I had one of those pizza pans that have the holes in it. So I flipped it over, had it on the pizza pan, and then I decorated it with my sauce and my hamburger meat. Now, what was my sauce? My sauce was an Alfredo sauce, just like last time, except this time, here's what I did. I took a half a stick of butter, melted it, and then I took, I don't know, maybe a cup of Parmesan, put it in there, just got this paste where there wasn't really much liquid of the butter left. So the roughly a cup of Parmesan absorbed most of the butter, and it was like just a pasty, mushy mixture. And then I just started kind of under low heat, like, medium low. I just started to add a little bit of cream at a time, heavy cream, and it was thick. And I just kind of add a little bit until I got to the consistency that I wanted. And I'm like, okay, this is about the consistency of like a tomato sauce or something, right? Didn't add any salt because remember I used salted butter and the Parmesan, grated Parmesan. So this is like the grated Parmesan like you buy out of the containers. I know, don't kill me, don't crucify me, but I'm in a hurry. So I had the same kind you get for like you put on your spaghetti or something, when you used to do that, right? You had the Kraft or the whatever. This was the generic. So, anyways, but I did that, and then let it cool down just a little bit. But then I spread it on the pizza like pizza sauce, right? Just spread it on there, and I did it thin, like fairly thin. You don't want it too thick. And then I had already ground up some ground beef, so I sprinkled my ground beef on there. I know I do like a lot of hand gestures, like I'm actually doing it, like sprinkling it. And then I went and picked up my family's pizza. And while I was right before I had to pick up the pizza was still not done. The grocery store was across the street. I ran in, got a block of mozzarella, just a regular like 16-ounce block, and I got some pepperoni. Went, picked up the pizza, took it home, shredded up I have like a hand crank shredder thing. It's awesome. I love it. The thing's like amazing. And shredded up like, probably about 4 to 6 ounces of that mozzarella into a bowl. And I sprinkled it. Not, kind of light-ish, but I sprinkled a good amount and then decorated with some pepperoni. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Before I did the mozzarella, I took one piece of bacon and I just kind of broke up some of the softest parts of the bacon. Actually, I took kind of like 2 pieces of bacon and broke up the softest fatty parts and put over the pizza, like around the pizza. I didn't use a lot of the lean pieces of the bacon. I put those back into my bacon bowl. And then sprinkled some of that cheese, put the pepperonis, and I sprinkled a little more cheese just to kind of make it all together. And then I put it in the oven for 425 for like 10 minutes. And the 10-minute timer went off. I looked, everything was kind of browned. There was a light browning on the top, just little bits and stuff. I'm like, looks good to me. Pulled it out, let it cool down, and here it is. So you can see there's my pizza, and yes, it tasted amazing. Okay. It was great. And the thing is that I got to enjoy like holding a pizza. If you let it set when you pull out of the oven, let it set for 4 minutes or something, 4 or 5 minutes. You obviously don't want to eat cold, but let it set a little bit because it's going to be really hot. But if you let it set just that little bit and then you cut it into like 8 pieces, you'll be able to pretty much pick it up like a pizza. I did have a fork, and every once in a while, like the very first bite, maybe I might, eat it with a fork. But that was only for the first like 2 or 3 pieces, maybe. But by then, everything else is set, and you can just eat it like pizza. So it was nice that when my family ate their pizza, and they actually ate before me, and like my son ate at the table, my wife ate in her studio. We were kind of having one of those. We just kind of ate separately dinner. It was one of those nights, and but we do try to eat together a lot. So it was just really nice to be able to where I could have pizza, and when I picked up their pizza, I got to tell you, like I had to check the order. I had to lift the lid a little bit on each one, and the aromas, the smells going into the pizza place. The smell, it just triggers all those memories. And in the memories, you can just almost like, you literally can almost just taste the pizza and you're like, oh my God. But I did really good. Because again, I love it. So you have to say, you know what? Let me just put aside that tasty poison. Let me put aside that poison is just a super tasty poison. Let me set that aside. and let me enjoy this pizza, which is good for me. This pizza right here is good for me. Let me enjoy these flavors. And then when you sort of take away those expectations of their pizza and you look and judge your pizza, man, it tastes great though. You just get that crust, that cheesy crust with the Alfredo sauce, and you get the mozzarella, and you get the pepperonis and the meat and the bacon. You get all of that in there, and it just is a good pizza. And I ate everything except for one piece. I got to that last piece that it was like 2 bites from the last piece, and I barely got those down. I'm like, okay, my brain is like, you're done. You're done. The pizza was great, but I'm at that point now. We're good. So my last piece, I gave to my dog. There was no reason to save that one piece, and my dog, hello, it's carnivore. So it's gonna be safe. Now some might say, well, the salt. Well, look, it's carnivore. So I gave it to my dog. He's a husky. So, but anyways, so that was really important for me to, like, when they wanted pizza, it was important for, I had enough time, just enough time to like whip up my own little carnivore pizza. And it's not real difficult, believe it or not. It's not. You just have to get it done, and a little bit of prep. So, speaking of prep, I definitely want to talk about that. Again, I'm not one to preach. It's just that we all share things. So it's like when I shared the tip yesterday about the McDonald's burgers, about ordering from the a la carte menu. Yes, like I got some great feedback. A couple of you responded and was like, hey, that's a great tip. And you guys out there have given me some great tips already that I utilized. And of course, I acknowledge that with you guys. So that's one thing I love about this community so far is I've had great interactions, positive interactions, good sharing, good tips. It's so nice. But preparation, if there's anything, I'm not a prepper. Okay. Believe me, I'm not. I would like to be, but now I'm learning. So here's the thing. I had, of course, when I made that ground beef for today, I didn't use much on the pizza, so I set the rest in a Tupperware container. I had 3 more portioned ground beef, so like usually around a pound. I had 3 more portions in the fridge, and I didn't want those to go bad because they had already been in there for a few days, and so, like, you know what I mean? So I went ahead and cooked up each portion individually. So I just, after dinner, I just took a little bit of time. It doesn't take a lot. So I cooked up one batch of ground beef, and I cooked it right until, as soon as I didn't see any more red, or I was like right there, I'm like done. I didn't want to overcook it. Even if there was like a hair bit of red, maybe potentially, I bet it's gonna be good. It's fine. But as soon as that was done, I took a lid, drained the grease. Okay, drained it real good, put it back on the stove real quick, threw 2 tablespoons of bacon fat in there. Because remember, I saved my bacon fat from those couple batches of bacon that I cooked up the other day. Okay, fine. I'll show you my bacon thing. I always talk about my bacon Tupperware that I snack out of or that I eat a couple bacons from. Here it is. Yep, there's my bacon. All right, so, but yeah, when I made that the other day, that bacon grease I saved in a jar. It was like this much bacon grease or something. And so I took a couple spoonfuls, probably 2-3 tablespoons, but just a couple spoons in there. I added back in there. It melts pretty quick. Melted it up, and I put it in the Tupperware container. I did that for the 3 batches, and you can see that right here. So you can see I've got 3. So this, on top of the leftovers, which is actually technically 4 containers of meat now. So I have 4 nights of meat ready to go, 4 meals. And I got eggs in the fridge, which can be whipped up really quick. And of course, you saw my bacon. So that can be whipped up real quick. And then, of course, if you want dessert, butter bites, or if you just need a little butter to add some more fats into, if you had a real lean dinner and you wanted to add a few more, like a little more butter, you got butter bites. And I always talk about mine, so here you go. I'm going to show you what's left of mine. I've got, look at this. Yeah, I got 3 left. How sad is that? But they're good. You guys saw on that picture, that little layer of brown. That's that saltiness layer, or like that. That's, you want to get that in each thing. It just makes it look like candy. It's great. Um, taste amazing. So yeah, so there you go. I brought pictures today for you guys, videos and stuff. Okay, so preparation though, I'm telling you, it really, really helps, especially because again, if you're like single and or if you just you don't if you don't have to worry about these type of things, then hey, don't stress about it. If you have time, if you have a lot of time in your hands when you get off work, or if you don't work, I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean, guys. But if you're like me and your life's just here and there, and then I live in a divided household where, my family doesn't do carnivore. I do. And I don't want to change. And they don't probably want to change right now. They may, but for now I gotta go with reality. So having this stuff prepped really helps, especially when they pull that audible at the last minute and be like, hey, let's do pizza, or hey, let's go eat out. Well, now I learned the McDonald's thing with the eat out thing. If there's no McDonald's nearby, guess what? I will come home and I've got stuff that I can throw in the microwave real quick. So, anyways, guys, preparation's real key. I wanted to keep this video real short, but there's one more thing I wanted to talk about real quick, and I'm going to try to include the link down below. And one thing, if you're not following Shawn Baker, MD, I'm pretty sure a lot of you in the carnivore community probably follow this guy. He's very pro carnivore. He's out there fighting for us, trying to get studies and trying to get things approved for these financial studies that from the USDA, from the meat departments and stuff, from the meat folks. He's trying to get the meat folks to say, hey, let's do some studies on eating meat, and show these people, back me up. And so he's out there fighting the good fight, and he wanted to share some information. He just released this like 8 hours ago upon me filming this. And Shawn Baker, MD. And anyways, he was excited, and you should watch the video. Don't just listen to what I have to say about it. I'm just going to summarize real quick. But essentially, this one doctor did a study or something like that, where it was about like the LDL, like high LDL cholesterol. Like we're talking people that were like in the 600s and stuff, like super high cholesterol, and they were on keto. And they also did a control group. I want to say it was like healthy people that ate healthy or something like that. I don't remember exactly the control group. Like I said, you need to watch the video. He can explain it better than me. But essentially, the results were like in the study was they were going to try to look at the plaque buildup, because traditionally all the doctors are like, oh, you have high cholesterol. If you're on keto or carnivore and you have high cholesterol or something, you're gonna have these plaque buildup, it's gonna blah blah blah. Anyways, so they specifically was looking at plaque buildup with the arteries and the heart and stuff. So they did these scans, they did these tests, and essentially they found out no, like this, people that were on keto with these high LDLs still had like normal plaque levels, compared to like people that ate healthy or whatever. And in some cases, I guess was trending downwards, like in favor of the keto. But anyways, I'll let him explain it to you. It's exciting stuff. I wanted to share that. And because anytime we get science behind some of this stuff and we can share it, that's awesome. But I'm going to put the link down below. And if you have a YouTube channel or if you know people, whatever, just spread this link around, spread the video around. Because again, all the information just really helps. I had something weird on my neck. I was like, what the heck? But it wasn't anything. It was just me. All right. But guys, thank you all so much. And again, for the support. You guys are great. This is one of the best communities I've ever experienced, with being when I'm online. Because I'm online with a few other things. And I've got some great people that I talk to with that. But so far with the carnivore thing, man, it's just like a different set of people. We're just in this together, and it's great. So we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's day 14. Close to weigh-in. Weigh-in is Monday. It's gonna be my second weigh-in. We'll see what happens. I have no idea. I don't honestly. I'm gonna be truthful with you. I do not cheat and step on the scale in between, because believe it or not, I actually don't want to know. Like, because I think it's more of a, like, if I step on the scale, say it's like a Friday, right? And I'm like, I got a couple more days before thing. If I step on the scale and I see something I don't like, it's gonna probably discourage me. You know what I mean? And then my weekend, I might just be like, well, screw it. I don't know. I just don't mentally. It doesn't help me to see ahead of time. And then and I also feel like if I stepped on the scale Friday and it gave me good news, then if Monday I regressed a pound or two or something, I'd feel like horrible. Like, what the heck? So I'd rather just Monday morning, that's when I find out. That's what we're going to do. So, but guys, we'll see you tomorrow, day 14. All right, guys.